Okay, hi, editing Mel here. I just wanted to preface this video by pointing out that I filmed this about a month ago, maybe a little less than a month ago. I filmed this right before I left for Blue Ridge Rock Fest, with the intention of like editing it and posting it like when I got back, or trying to edit it on my trip. Neither of those things happened. And then I got really busy with school and couldn't work on this video like pretty much at all until just now. So, but I just wanted to let everyone know that this video was supposed to go out like a while ago. So I'm very sorry about that. I hope you enjoy it. So I saw Nia DaCosta's Candyman, and I have some thoughts. If you're just watching this video to find out if you should go see it, the answer is yes, absolutely. If you haven't already seen it, I recommend going to see it again. I would also recommend clicking off this video now, because this video is obviously full of spoilers. So let's talk about Candyman, 1992. Candyman is a movie that was released in 1992, directed by Bernard Rose, based on a Clive Barker short story called The Forbidden. Horrorbound.net describes The Forbidden as a story about urban legends come to life, of how downtrodden community protects their own. The movie depicts the tale of a couple of college grad students who go to the Cabrini Green housing projects to write their thesis on the urban legend known as the Candyman. Helen Lyle, played by Virginia Madsen, and her friend Bernadette Walsh, played by Casey Levins, go deep into exploring the story of Daniel Robitaille and how he became the specter who haunts the projects. The deeper the research, the tighter the grip Candyman has on Helen, leading up to the film's fiery conclusion. I could go into more detail on the plot, but to be honest, I think it's kind of boring and tedious to just regurgitate a film's plot, and also that's not really what I wanted this video to be about. I instead wanted this video to be about the theming and the deeper aspects of the film. Candyman is as much of a psychological horror movie as it is a slasher. Sure, we do see a fair amount of slashing and gore, but it's not really what the movie's about. The slashing is more of like the cherry on top as opposed to the actual main element of fear. Candyman is a story about the cycles of racism and violence in America, as well as being just like a interesting look at urban legends and how they form and how they fluctuate. So going into the new Candyman, the question is, as with all remakes, how does it stack up to the relatively large shoes it has to fill? Well, the answer to that, in my opinion at least, is extremely well. DaCosta's Candyman is a re-sequel or soft reboot that effectively retcons the original sequels and takes the narrative down a much more effective route than the original. While some of the IMDb reviews claim that Farewell to Flesh and Day of the Dead are better sequels because there's more gore and more Tony Todd, I personally disagree. Look, what I'm not going to do is sit here and try to tell you that Farewell to Flesh and Day of the Dead are like the worst sequels in the horror genre, because they're not. I'm not going to do that. What I am going to do, however, is I am going to say that they are not good movies, and they are not good sequels to the original Candyman. So, like, remember in Scream 2 when Randy is explaining the rules of a horror sequel, and it's very much all stuff like, oh, you know, like the kills are bigger, everything is bigger. It's sort of, to me, a good sequel to a movie, any kind of movie, not just horror, is one that takes the original idea and then sort of builds on it, right? Like, if there's commentary, you take that and you try to widen the scope, you try to make the stakes bigger. So I just don't feel that the original Candyman sequels, Farewell to Flesh and Day of the Dead, really do that. They just make the lore kind of strange, and they focus on this one man of Daniel Robitaille instead of like trying to take that idea and like expand it out to a greater message the way that the 2021 Candyman does. So a way that you could also kind of look at it is like, so a movie franchise, any kind of movie franchise that has like a message and has like multiple installations of the story, kind of like see it as writing like a greater essay. So like each movie is a paragraph in the essay, like it's a section, right? So when you're writing an essay about a particular like topic or a particular argument, or something that you really want to say, something that you should always do is just keep providing greater examples and like more stuff like that. So like each part of your franchise should take the argument that you're trying to make and widen it, make it bigger. And I just don't feel, I feel that the message of Candyman kind of gets lost in the sequels even more than it already kind of gets lost in the original film, for reasons that I will get into later in the video. Anyway, that's enough of me. Back to me from like a month ago. Instead of continuously beating the urban legend's dead horse with mediocre at best writing, like Farewell to Flesh and Day of the Dead do, the 2021 film takes the narrative down a much more fresh and well-written path. I hope you guys don't mind if I just like read off of my script, because there's just like a lot going on here. Candyman 2021 was directed and co-written by Nia DaCosta along with Jordan Peele and Wynn Rosenfield. It tells the story of a painter named Anthony, played by Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, who develops a fixation on the Candyman legend as a muse for his latest collection. Over the course of the film, he discovers that it's a little bit more than just an urban legend, and also discovers his own horrifying connection to the original tale. Yeah, that's right. Anthony, the painter who becomes obsessed with Candyman in the 2021 film, is the baby Anthony from the first film, grown up. So, again, I don't really just want to give a full plot summary because again, they're boring and tedious. I also just don't want to sit here and summarize the plot because that's not what this video is about. It's about theming and the way that they use horror to depict much more serious topics. Interestingly enough, actually, we learn in the very beginning of the film that Helen Lyle has become part of the Candyman Cabrini Green lore. The people in the universe of the movie don't actually have the same context that we do. Some nice dramatic irony plays its part in the whole situation, and because the people in the universe of the film don't have the same context that we do about what actually happened to Helen, they tell the story of the bonfire at Cabrini Green a lot differently than we know it actually happened. And as well, the people who were actually there remember the story completely differently than people who just like heard it from a friend or something. You know, because they were there. They know the story, they know roughly the story that we do because we actually watched the film and they were actually there. So it's just an interesting add-on to the whole discussion of urban legends. After all, you can't make a Candyman movie without two very important things: the study of urban legends and something else. It's on the tip of my tongue. Oh yes. You may be seeing a lot of people on Twitter and the IMDb reviews for this movie complaining about how Candyman got woke, about how horror movies should stay out of politics, because of course, horror movies have never been used to make statements about social issues ever. Never. They've never. A horror movie talking about politics? What? No. This, of course, is very stupid, and I will go through why that is. As previously mentioned, Candyman is based off of a Clive Barker short story, and while The Forbidden makes no specific mentions of Daniel's race, race and class are a pretty inseparable issue, especially in the US and especially in the UK. The UK has a pretty rampant racism problem today, and certainly did back in the 80s when Clive Barker wrote The Forbidden. And even if you want to take that out of the picture completely, class divide is still a huge social issue and is still politics. Like, that's still, like, class divide is still politics. Like, even if you want to say that The Forbidden has nothing to do with race and cannot be read as anything to do with race, class divide is still a political issue. The 1992 film attempts to take that story and just deepen the commentary by making it about race and class divide in Chicago. The commentary feels a little bit strange and maybe a little bit shallow, and for the longest time I couldn't really quite put my finger on why that was until I sat down in the theater, and then I realized that it's because we've been hearing about this story about the experience of being a Black American from the perspective of white people and from the perspective of white characters. So I just wanted to, like, real quick kind of re-articulate what I was trying to say here, because I think I got my point across, but I just want to make sure, so I'm gonna say it again a little bit more concisely, just so that it's abundantly clear what I was trying to say. When I would watch the original Candyman, I would watch it and I'd be like, these are important issues. The politics in this movie isn't what's bugging me, but there's something in that is bugging me, and I couldn't really articulate what it was to myself, but I knew it was there. I was like, there's something about this that just feels like it's not quite hitting the mark. Like, you're doing archery, right? You got a target, the target's here, and it just, like, kind of, like, maybe it hits, like, the outer rings of the target, but it doesn't really, like, hit it, right? And then when I sat down to watch the movie, the 2021 movie, I realized, I thought about it some more, like, before the film started, and then I was like, oh, shit. Okay, so this is a movie that is trying to talk about, like, Black oppression and Black issues and all these really important topics, right? But it does that through basically just the experience of this one white woman, and it doesn't really go into, like, how, like, the Black people in the original film aren't main characters, they're supporting roles. I mean, yeah, Helen Lyle has a Black best friend, but once the killing starts, she gets murdered pretty quickly. So it doesn't really, like, it tries to talk about these issues, but I don't really feel like it does it. I don't really feel like it does it as well as maybe they were hoping for. So that's kind of what I meant. Below I've linked a Fangoria article where William O. Tyler sits down with horror journalist Sean Abley to talk about how the 1992 film tackles the topic of racism in America, and it's really interesting. I encourage you all to go give it a read. It's a very good article. Love it. Wow, hi, it's me again. So I can't find the clip where I like said who William O. Tyler is, but there should be one because I definitely said it, but can't find where it went, so I'm just gonna do that now. William O. Tyler is a Black queer creative. He does a lot of really cool comic work. In the description, his website is gonna be linked, so you can, like, check out his work, follow him on Twitter, do all of that. He's really cool. Yeah, anyway. One of the things that O. Tyler said in the interview that I really wanted to highlight was this. You know, it takes a bit for Candyman to even show up because we're so focused on this white woman for so long. You start to notice who is actually the center of the story. There were 2 sequels after the first one, and for this to be a franchise so steeped in Black life and Black oppression, all 3 of the movies are centered around the experiences of white women. I have also included the socials for William O. Tyler and also Sean Abley down in the description, just in case you want to go give them a follow. Candyman would feel a lot more effective if it was told from the perspective of Black Americans, which is exactly what the 2021 film does. The political themes of class and race divide and white supremacy have always been present in this narrative. The 2021 film just deepens them and talks about them with a lot more obvious first-hand experience. The 2021 film covers performative wokeness, microaggressions, gentrification, police brutality, and the overall cycle of violence and oppression. At its core, though, the movie still revolves around that basic premise of The Forbidden, about urban legends and the struggles of a downtrodden community. As previously mentioned, the horror in Candyman has always been more of the psychological variety anyway, with the on-screen gore only really starting until halfway through the original film. We see a lot of blood, but we don't actually see Daniel kill anyone on screen until he kills the therapist at the hospital. I saw the true face of fear is what Burke tells Anthony when he's telling him the story of the death of Sherman Fields. I thought the introduction of multiple Candymen was a really good touch because it speaks to that cycle of violence that Black Americans have historically faced in America. Nia DaCosta's Candyman is a very good movie that builds on the foundation laid by the original 1992 film. It is more overt with its political commentary, but that's just the nature of this narrative. This story has always been a prime example of social commentary as a horror movie. Moreover, the idea that politics in horror is a new phenomenon for the modern PC culture is absolutely fucking absurd. Horror has always been a lens to discuss bigger issues. In his review of The Exorcist, Entertainment Weekly film critic Owen Gleiberman starts off by saying, "Some movies aren't just movies. They're closer to voodoo. They channel currents larger and more powerful than themselves." Horror movies have roughly the same function in society that fables do. A fictional and sometimes supernatural tale that teaches a lesson or delivers a warning. For an older example to really show you that this is not new, The Mask of the Red Death, a short story by Edgar Allan Poe, is a cautionary tale about the tuberculosis epidemic, and The Telltale Heart, also by Poe, is a lesson about the all-consuming nature of guilt. So that's what I have to say about Candyman 2021. I liked it. I think you should go see it. If you just want to go see a bunch of gnarly kills, it might not be the movie for you. In the form of the original film, you don't really see like every single death occur on screen. There's a lot of really cool shots with mirrors because Candyman himself can only really live in the mirror in this film. So there's a lot of really cool things that they do with mirrors and like where you can see him in a mirror. I don't know. It's really cool. So if you really just want to go for gnarly kill scenes, you might still enjoy it. But if you like movies that ask you to self-reflect a little bit and have more of a psychological edge that leaves a bit to the imagination, I highly encourage you to go see this movie. Anyway, please subscribe if you want to see more horror content. I actually still need this, so throwing it off to the side isn't really gonna... I did write a little outro script. I wasn't going to originally, but then I was like, nah, I need that. Please subscribe if you want to see more content about horror movies, horror video games, horror, I don't know, podcasts. Welcome to Night Vale is a horror podcast. God, I want to get back into listening to Welcome to Night Vale, because that was... I miss when life was simple and all I did was watch anime and listen to Welcome to Night Vale. Like this video, if you've seen Candyman 2021, let me know what you thought. Little did I know I would be so busy that by the time I get this video out, everyone who was going to see Candyman has probably already seen it. So, cool. So I just wanted to say something about the Alice Let's Play. There's a new video for it coming. The thing is I almost want to say that my Alice Let's Play is a little bit cursed, to be honest, because with the previous episode that's on the channel, I had just the roughest time in the world getting that together because of all the technical difficulties. Well, in this case, I had some more personal difficulties with the filming of it, where someone came by while I was filming and like smacked on my window, and it scared the hell out of me. And once I was done attempting to deal with that, it sapped a lot of my energy out of me, so it's not a very good episode. What I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back in and play some more for like an hour, just so I have more footage to kind of edit down, so I can maybe like get some energy in there, because it's just not, I don't know if I've hit my stride yet with the whole like Let's Player thing, but I really want to do really do want to do horror Let's Plays, because I think that they're really chill videos to make in theory. I just have to figure out how to be entertaining. So with that in mind, the next Alice video is coming. I don't know if it's going to be the next video game video that I post. I have some other horror video games on my Steam library that I really want to try. I just got one that, according to the Steam page for it, it's only like 5 to 6 hours of gameplay. Of course, that's probably if you're good at video games, so it might take me a little bit longer, but what I did kind of think was like try to knock that whole game out in one session and then just cut it down to like a little bit of a longer Let's Play video. We'll see. I don't know about all that, but we'll see. So more gaming videos are coming. I haven't abandoned Alice. I haven't even gone back to really start editing the next episode because I just know it's not good. I'll get there in the end. It's fine. I'm funny, I think. I just need to figure out how to be funny while I play video games. I'm always too focused on the actual game. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like I said, like, subscribe, comment, share this on Twitter. Check out the articles I've linked down below. There's the William O. Tyler interview, and then I've also linked his social media, Sean Abley's social media. I linked an article about horror movies that have deep social commentary in case you're interested in that topic. I did also link the horrorbound.net page about The Forbidden. So yeah, I think that's everything that's in the description. We have a TikTok. Follow us on TikTok. The link for that will also be in the description. I think that's everything. Have a nice day, guys.